Hey man, how are you?
Hi, Sid. Good to see you again.
Uh, oh, okay. So how's the day been so far?
Been doing okay. Busy week, but finally the weekend has arrived.
Yeah, man. Nothing like the weekend and nothing like the cricket. So let's start with the local stuff in terms of us against Sri Lanka. I only saw the score. I didn't really watch the highlights. So what have been your thoughts? I know Sri Lanka took the first ODI, but though it was close. So were you able to watch it and give me any insights on it?
I managed to watch the first innings, the Sri Lankan innings, and I thought the Proteas were a bit. Uh, I think they really underachieved with the ball. Uh, in terms of their lengths, I don't think it was the correct lengths on those wickets. Um as a bowling unit, they didn't have a good game. So I mean, if you look at that score line, 300. You could have still
Hmm.
backed them to chase it, but however, they fell short. And a bit of blame does go to the batsmen, I would think, because at one stage they were well on course to
Hmm.
chase that total down, and then they let it slip in the end. But on the other hand, I think the bowlers should not have let Sri Lanka get to 300. I think letting the
Yeah,
Sri Lankan side get to 300 would be
yeah,
not good. They went
yeah.
for plenty in the last 10. That's where the game was actually lost. Sri Lanka managed to get to that 300 mark in the last 10 overs with some
Mm,
lusty hitting, and the Proteas were very expensive in that last 10. And as I think there wasn't much zip from the Proteas bowling attack in the initial stages as well. The way they started that game wasn't good. You know,
mm.
they just didn't hit their straps as a bowling unit.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed with us, we're kind of slow starters. It kind of happened against Ireland, where we were really not off the mark, and then, but I guess in the constellation for this match, at least we batted well, to at least not lose so badly. I thought when Sri Lanka scored 300, it was like a done deal, but the fact that we got so close, it's not so bad. So I guess today we will probably bounce back, get our straps right, and yeah, I think we are playing against them today, so we can only hope.
I think given what's gone before, and looking at both sides on paper, I think South Africa would have probably fancied their chances of beating the Sri Lankan side. So it was disappointing that they lost the first game. As much as you say getting close, but at one stage they were actually ahead of the game, and they just let slip. And I mean, Bavuma's injury obviously didn't help the cause as well. So. I think Markram and Bavuma are going well in that partnership. And then Markram lost his wicket on 96, and
Yeah.
that slowed down the chase in the end. But to me personally, I don't think 300 was a score that was not attainable on that wicket.
Okay. All right. Okay, now we go to the Bangladesh versus New Zealand, and I kind of, in a way, I mean, I know the records were against Bangladesh because they never beat New Zealand in a T20, but considering the conditions that Bangladesh are extreme, but though the surprising thing is I think the pitches are probably not as bad as what they were against Australia. I mean, the first one was whew, very low scoring, and then the second one was at least around the 140, so it was a lot better. So, and they lead 2-0. So, looks like another series win for Bangladesh at this rate.
Yeah, I mean they're looking formidable at home. I think their first game, Sri Lanka obviously didn't. Sorry, New Zealand probably didn't have a good game
Hmm. Hmm.
with the ball,
Hmm.
and I mean the bat as well. Getting bundled out for 60 odd. I
Yeah,
mean,
60. I think maybe I thought it was around 70 something, but either way, it's very bad.
that's becoming like that's coming like becoming a trend now when playing against Bangladesh. It's challenging
Yeah.
wickets, and
Hmm.
they're looking a
Hmm.
formidable side at home, eh? However, I'd like to see how they actually perform away from home. and that's really going to be the real way we can really judge them. Because I
Problem,
feel these wickets
yeah,
are really, really in favor in terms of their spin attack, and we know it's spin dominated. I mean, they're not getting much purchase for the quicks, and I think if you're going to be bowling too quick on those wickets, you're going to be going for plenty. So
mm,
I think
mm.
they've identified that, and they've seen that you've got to prepare ranked turners, and we can get any team out, and that's what exactly happening. And they're not just getting teams out; they're bundling them out quite convincingly as well.
Yeah, but I think it's a topic for another discussion. But I mean, it's good that they're winning, but the problem is that these kinds of wins kind of lull you into a false sense of security. I guess we'll only know when they get to the World Cup and then we see how far they go. But my theory for them is that fine, against top nations, against the Western nations, you prepare ranked turners, but if you play teams like, you know, in like Pakistan and Afghanistan, maybe prepare green tracks, so at least you're giving your side a bit experience on both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I guess with regards to conditions, it's difficult to prepare green tops in those parts of the world.
No,
You know,
I mean, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. I mean, look at India; they've done it. They've prepared green tops to prepare their team better. But fine, they do have the resources, but I'm sure they could do
yeah, but
something. Yeah.
I guess it comes down to climate as well, and I feel the climate in Asia is different in terms of trying to prepare those green tops.
Hmm.
You're always going to get those dusty sort of spin friendly tracks in Asia, and that's where the challenge is.
No, but I'm sure you can
It's
try, you know. You can try. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you got to do something. You can't have a situation where home teams are always winning, you know. I mean, gone are the days where you could have the foreign teams achieving something away from home. But anyway, that's also another topic for another. Just
oh, well, foreign teams played spin better in those days, I would say, as opposed to now. They had
but
better
then
players of spin, much
no,
more skillful players.
but let's be okay. I'm not trying to sound cynical, but I'm sure the foreign players that were playing well against Spain didn't have to play on such radical turners. I mean, I think the pitches are probably fairer for them in those days than they are now. And nowadays, I think even I mean, remember AB de Villiers and Hashim Amla suffered, struggled in their last tour to India. Oh, it was really bad. And those pitches were really rank. Those pitches were radical. So I don't know how they would have done even the past generation till now. I think they probably wish. I think they're probably happy that they're not having to face such radical turners now. I think they probably had a better deal. And I know that sounds insulting, but that's how I feel about it. You know.
Yeah, I would say so, but I think experience has also proved a factor in Asia. Because I mean, if you go on a number of tours to Asia, then you'll
Mm-hmm.
probably get better at playing spin. And
That
there are a
is
lot of
true.
teams that have they've gone with inexperienced sides, and that's where they've
Yeah.
been found wanting.
Yeah.
And New Zealand as well. But I mean, it's a good experience for them. Let's see if they can bounce back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I actually hope for Bangladesh's sake that they actually do well in the World Cup. Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I
uh,
hope Bangladesh do well in the World Cup, so at least it doesn't look that it's backtracked on them to have such bowler-friendly pitches. So I hope for their sake to do well, because if they don't do well, it's only going to prove my point. Actually, the first match was actually 60 all out, so damn, that was pretty bad. But anyway,
yeah, the second game was quite close. I think it was 5 runs or so.
yeah,
But
yeah, that was a better pitch actually for batting. That actually was a lot better pitch, even though the score is still not T20 standard, but with a lot better.
definitely, I mean, in countries like England and Australia and SA, you're going to get those scores of 180, 190 because the pitches are much more favorable for those wickets. And
Yeah,
to get a 60 or 20, I don't think. I think you got to strike a balance in a way, and maybe those pitches
hmm.
are not balanced at all. Anyway, that's a topic for
Yeah,
another day.
yeah. Okay, let's get down to the main one, England and India. It's an interesting test match. I mean, India bowled out for 190 the first day, and then they came back beautifully. And then, I mean, in the side that first day, and then the second day they picked up 2 wickets, and then that partnership came between Pope and Bairstow, and then I honestly thought India were really out of this game. I thought they were going to score, England were going to score over 300 at one stage. But yeah, India just don't give up. And then they're batting beautifully even today. I think the score line is, from what I could remember, I think from what I last saw, scored was like 70 something without loss. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, let's give credit to England for drawing the series. I feel the way they played in the second game, bouncing back
Mm.
by an innings, it was an amazing effort. And I feel this pitch is probably a little bit more balanced as opposed to the one in
Leeds.
uh, Leeds. Yeah, Headingley. I mean, Headingley was a beautiful track for the seamers, and especially the England seam. Uh,
Mm.
England couldn't find their straps, and this one here probably there is something in it for the batsmen and bowlers. It's not. I'm not saying it's not zipping as much as it was in Leeds.
Mm.
So I think if you apply yourself,
Mm.
there is runs to it. But look, England they put they put a good total on the board. I would think 99 ahead. That was actually
Yeah.
good. In India bounced back well yesterday, winning 43 without loss, and I think it's 76 the last I checked with that partnership. So
Yeah, they're
to me,
18
it's still
now. Yeah, they're 18 now without loss from what I'm sticking upon ESPN. So it's looking good.
it's. I think it's even Stevens, but I think if England get a few wickets there,
Mm.
and that Indian middle order is looking very vulnerable, so they could fancy their chances of getting into that Indian middle order. And there's a few players that are out of form there. I mean, let's be honest.
And I hope that the sun does come out nice and beaming. Should be making it nice and flat like a pancake.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. But I think both sides need a result in this game.
Hmm.
So
There should be a result. I'd be very shocked if this actually goes to a draw. And I'll tell you why. Because these two teams are more, there's enough time to get a result. I mean, unless the pitch really becomes flat, meaning that if India score heavily today and then tomorrow they get to a lead of, and this is just me being fanciful, of over 350 plus, and then they don't give England enough overs to get tempted to chase, then yes, I think this pitch will be easy to survive on, but I don't think it'll be easy to chase on. Does that make sense to you?
it does. But I feel they with regards to England. I mean, you got to be on the ball. You can have one good partnership and then you can lose two or three very quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the nature of the game. I think England. I think India probably day three conditions are probably the best time to bat.
Mm.
So they got to try and cash in here, but you just can't rule any result out here.
Of
I would
course.
think at the moment England are slightly ahead because of that lead, but as I'm saying, India is still behind the game. Once they obviously get a lead, they can obviously build from there. But if you put two or three wickets to that score, it doesn't look very
Of
pretty
course, yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. But I think on this pitch,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to put the mockers on them, but I don't think India can have any excuses, especially today. I mean, it's just probably the best time to bat. Out of all the pitches they've ever faced on, it's like, I think it would be, I think they should be hiding their face in shame if they don't survive today at least, and then try and. Speaking of which, what score do you think will be challenging for England to chase? Should India bat really well today and tomorrow?
Sure. I think anything over 250 would be a challenge, eh?
Hmm.
In a 14 inning, that would be a challenge. So I think England probably want to try and bowl them out under 200,
Mm-hmm. Of
under the lead of 200. So that would give them an opportunity
course,
to.
yeah.
And I think if England can chase 200, they're going to have enough time
Yeah,
to
and
make this
rooted
score.
in good form.
Look, this is one of the better pictures, I would say, in the series so far.
Definitely. Mm.
Something in it for both teams. I thought the first test was a good wicket as well.
Yeah.
If you apply yourself. Look, it's the fourth test. So I mean, if whoever wins this one really does have the ascendancy. So
Yeah.
anything. I think anything under between 200 220, England would be happy. But I mean, 270 300 would really be a challenge on in the 4th innings to chase that down, because I mean,
And how many overs do you think India will need?
Yeah, so I think if India get anything over 270, 300, then they are obviously going to be,
No, but like, how many overs do you think India will need to bowl them out?
yeah, which means they've got to score 400, which, I mean, is going to be a challenge, but let's see what happens.
No, but like I was asking, like, how many overs do you think they'll need to bowl at England?
They probably want to get about 110 overs, 110,
Interesting. I was thinking
overs.
more like 120.
Yeah, I mean 110, 120 overs. That would be enough time to bowl the opposition out. And let's be honest, if England are chasing under 250, I mean
Hmm.
120 overs is enough
Yeah,
to make that
yeah, yeah,
just on that total. So all results are in place at the moment, so anything is possible.
yeah. I think VVS Lakshman had said on Matchday Live that England kind of gave India a gift by how they batted at the end because it gave them a chance to at least redeem themselves to bat the whole of today and then try and get into tomorrow. So I think he's predicting that India should survive today and then tomorrow. I think he's predicting India to win it. What do you think?
Look, I mean, they had to go for those runs, and I think it in a way there's two ways of looking at it. If India bat well, they obviously in with a chance, but they have to bat well. But I mean, England posted they were 99 ahead, so I mean, they still managed to get a quite a healthy lead, first innings lead. So that's very very important. And
Mm.
I think they would have been probably more comfortable with a lead of maybe 120, 130 would have been probably better. But
Mm.
I still feel there's enough in this England attack to get 20 wickets. So anything is possible.
Interesting. I thought that this will be the best time to test out the attack because the attack has been looking good because of the extreme conditions. But I think this will be a time to see how well they can do when the pitch is really not as bowler friendly. But I guess we'll wait and see. I think any final comments? So I think we pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah, I think Proteas really need to bounce back today. So I hope they obviously get a good total on the board. I think anything between 290, 310 would probably be a good score. And with this England and India game, phew, it's a tough one to call. I
Mm.
mean, we know India can always come back with the ball as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Both sides have good seam attacks, but I think if England can have India down, I'd say by T. If they can have them about 5 or 6 down, then they would fancy their chances. But if they're not going to be taking wickets, then they need to drive the runs as well. So
Hmm.
that's in a way that's what can build pressure. So there's two ways of looking at it, but yeah, I think
Mm.
it's 50-50 at the moment. Hey, it's
Yeah. I guess the way India
it
should
could
look
go
at it
either
is
way, but
that,
England have a slight they
yeah,
have that nice lead.
it's a good thing for India that should they win this match, they'll minimum retain the series. Obviously, they want to win the series completely, but it's always like a nice consolation prize.
Definitely, and I guess England were in the ascendancy after the third test, and they would have came here with a lot of confidence,
Mm.
and I think they performed pretty well in this test match so far. So, I mean, it's just a matter of this innings now, and you know, I'd say chasing down whatever India posted them. But
Mm.
I think if India get over 250, then it could be challenging. Under 200, it's definitely England's game.
Um, lastly, what's your thoughts on Ashwin not playing? You think it's a boo-boo? Because I know Michael Vaughan has
Uh,
been crying for him to be playing, but still no chance of him playing in the series, and it's looking unlikely.
Yeah, look, I think they came to England and they have a look at the conditions and you got to play four seamers. So
Mm.
I think that would probably the only reason why Ashwin did not play
Mm.
in any of the tests so far. I mean, that's taking nothing away from him as a player,
Mm.
but you got a guy like Thakur who bowls seam up and he swings the ball away and he can also bat a bit. So
Mm.
I feel that part of the job he can do as well as Ashwin. So
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why they. I think they just wanted to go with four seamers. So that is the reason why Ashwin probably didn't get a game because
Yeah.
I mean in England the ball. So I think it's a smart move to go with four seamers.
Okay, I think that's pretty much a wrap. We shall catch up again and hoping for an India win.
Okay, chat to you soon. Cheers.